Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're dissecting an absolute masterclass in modern digital attention. We've actually got our hands on the exact blueprint of a highly engineered piece of media, a viral AI transformation sequence. You know the ones. If you've ever found yourself completely glued to one of those fast-paced clips of a character evolving through different cinematic universes, well, you're about to see exactly why it works so well. We're going to look at this high-octane source material and decode the anatomy of a viral short, the Multiverse Hero Evolutions.
So picture this. You're just casually scrolling, and suddenly you're hit with this exact question flashing across your screen. What happens when 5 AIs design the same hero? The source material we're analyzing today relies on this incredibly intense opening hook. It uses these super fast glitch transitions, blurred previews, dramatic flashes, and energy particles. It's basically a calculated, high-contrast visual assault, right? And it's designed to stop you dead in your tracks and grab your attention instantly, literally within the first 3 seconds.
And playing right over all that chaotic visual goodness is this exact line of opening narration. 5 different AIs tried to design the same anime hero. Now, what's really fascinating here is how this establishes a super compelling multiverse premise right out of the gate. It presents a mystery. Our brains naturally just want to compare and categorize things, you know? So by explicitly promising 5 variations of a single concept, the creator absolutely demands our curiosity and pretty much dares us to see it through to the end.
Okay, let's actually slow down this rapid-fire 60-second script and break it into 5 key analytical pillars. Number 1, the blueprint. Number 2, the strict rule. Number 3, the core trio. 4, cyberpunk and God mode. And finally, number 5, the viral loop.
Starting right off with Section 1, the blueprint, building the main character.
See, before any of those flashy transitions can even happen, the creator has to establish a rock-solid foundation. Because amidst all the chaotic fast cuts, the cinematic shakes, and those wild speed ramps, we, the viewers, desperately need a visual anchor. We need a familiar face to follow through the chaos. According to the source blueprint, these specific physical traits are completely non-negotiable. We're looking at a young, male anime hero. He's got spiky black hair, a razor-sharp jawline, an athletic build, glowing blue eyes, and this really confident expression. The absolutely crucial point here is that this specific combination is locked in for every single aesthetic variation that follows. It gives our brain a constant baseline to track.
And that brings us perfectly to Section 2, the strict rule, 0 deviations.
Honestly, this is arguably the core creative constraint that makes this entire explainer source material actually work. Without this rigid rule, the whole sequence would just feel like, I don't know, a disjointed, random slideshow of AI art. Just look at this definition laid out in the source document. The consistency rule dictates maintaining the exact same character identity, facial structure, hair, body shape, and pose across all scenes without any redesign. And notice that it forces the exact same outfit and pose. By completely restricting the movement and the wardrobe, the creator ensures that when the background and the art style do abruptly change, those stylistic transitions just hit with maximum undeniable impact.
All right, let's move right along to Section 3, the core trio, anime, realistic, and Pixar.
So this is where the aesthetic escalation officially begins, and the pacing really starts to ramp up for us. The source script guides the viewer through a highly calculated progression. Step 1 just drops us right into the anime AI. Step 2 shifts gears into an ultra-realistic cinematic human with the realistic AI. And then Step 3 completely subverts our expectations with the colorful, much softer Pixar AI. The source material builds massive momentum here. It's throwing the viewer through these distinct, widely recognizable visual aesthetics in rapid succession, and it never, ever lets the energy drop.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how much detail goes into that pacing. The creator perfectly pairs specific visual designs with matching editing effects. So for the anime style, we get those classic speed lines and glowing particles. For the realistic AI, it's a slick Hollywood-style camera focus pull and a cinematic lens flare. And for Pixar, we get this super smooth bounce transition that perfectly matches that playful animated vibe. It's essentially a cohesive sensory experience that's perfectly tailored to each specific aesthetic. But right in the middle of these rapid shifts, the energetic narrator actually breaks the fourth wall, dropping this exact quote, "Pixar AI actually looks amazing."
By having the narrator react to the creation in real time with genuine hype, it injects this amazing burst of personality. It kind of acts as a breather, you know? It keeps the viewer hooked and nodding along right in the middle of the sequence, just before the next massive visual drop.
Which brings us to the grand finale in Section 4, Cyberpunk and God Mode, the ultimate escalation. Because if the first three styles were just the setup, this is where the epic electronic soundtrack completely drops the bass. The whoosh transitions get way louder, and the pacing just goes into absolute overdrive. The visual contrast here is honestly phenomenal. On one side, we have the Cyberpunk AI warrior standing in a neon city background, glowing circuits pulsing on this futuristic jacket. And right when you think the energy literally can't get any higher, it shatters that expectation with the final form, an ultimate anime god transformation complete with a massive glowing aura and these floating energy rocks. The specific editing effects are seriously working overtime here to sell this ultimate power-up. We transition from these aggressive cyberpunk glitch effects and neon flickering straight into God mode shockwave bursts. In fact, the source blueprint specifically demands an intense camera zoom during this final reveal to elevate the visual. It's designed to make the viewer physically feel the cinematic impact of that transformation.
And the script does a lot of the heavy lifting to build that anticipation too. The narrator tells the audience, Cyberpunk AI goes hard, but wait until you see the final form. Now this is classic, highly effective hype phrasing. It creates this little pocket of intense suspense right before the ultimate climax. That ensures the audience doesn't scroll away, maximizing retention right up to the very last second. But what happens after that climax? Well, let's shift to our final section, the viral loop, engineering retention. Because the way this sequence ends is actually a brilliant mechanical retention strategy that drives the success of this entire format. The final visual payoff of this evolutionary journey is incredibly satisfying. You finally get to see all 5 versions of the hero standing side by side. The dramatic lighting hits just perfectly, and their individual energy effects are beautifully blending together on screen. It's basically the ultimate visual reward for staying until the end of the explainer.
But here is the true genius of the format. The loop ending. This is defined as a slow, cinematic zoom out that seamlessly connects the final frame of the sequence right back into that rapid-fire opening hook we talked about earlier. It completely tricks your brain. It effortlessly carries the viewer right back to the start without any clear break, practically guaranteeing a rewatch before they even realize what just happened.
And floating right over that beautiful looping zoom out is this exact text on screen. Which one wins? Now, this isn't just a casual query. Oh no, it is a highly engineered, totally powerful call to action. It gives the viewer an immediate, opinion-based task designed to absolutely flood the comment section with debate, which aggressively boosts algorithm engagement.
So, when we step back and summarize the anatomical breakdown of this source material, we can see for sure that it's not just random AI art thrown together. It is a highly structured machine designed for maximum visual storytelling. That strict character blueprint keeps us grounded. The gradual style escalation keeps us hooked. The dynamic camera effects make us literally feel the transitions. And that strategic looping ending, well, that ensures maximum retention.
It really makes you step back and look at the bigger picture. We so often think of digital creativity as having boundless, unlimited freedom. But as we've seen today, the success of this captivating sequence relies entirely on what it refuses to change. It relies heavily on that rigid consistency rule. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. By locking in strict constraints, do we actually unleash more creativity? Does building a rigid sandbox force us to create more compelling, magnetic media? Definitely keep that in mind the next time you find yourself entirely captivated by a looping aesthetic sequence. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I will see you next time.